said, David, Julia, I've invested a lot of money in knives. They're all now as dull as my 5th grade history teacher. And what I can't do is throw them away because I spent way too much money on them. How can I breathe new life into an old knife that I spent money on? Well, we turned to Iron Chef Geoffrey Zakarian. Now, this knife was completely dull and wouldn't cut anything before we began taking it through this Zakarian Knife Sharpener. Now I can go right through this paper and look at that. Completely cut, even a fancy pattern. Why? Because there's a brand new edge on this knife. Now, there are 2 areas. One of these is labeled coarse. The other is your honing. So you're going to put a brand new blade, edge on the blade, and then you're going to hone that blade, and then you're going to get back and get busy in the kitchen again. Now, we had this on the air back in April, and it sold out completely. Now, I have some great color choices for you, and I believe we only have the 3, is that right? No, 4. There are 4. Now, guys, if we can find a card, oh, is that it over there? Okay, great. So, I have this for you in cranberry, $800 in the cranberry. I have Zakarian blue, $950. Here's the black, $3,100, and finally I have it in the cool gray, $1,600, $19.98. Now, how many of you have a drawer in your kitchen where knives go to die? Raise your hand, because we all have them. But you spent a lot of money on that knife once upon a time because you loved it. And then it got dull, and you didn't have a way to sharpen it, so it got put into another drawer. And you never go and use that knife again, but you can't bear to part with it. A knife really shouldn't have a lifespan unless it's physically broken. If you need to put a new edge on your knife, this is the way you're going to do it. And if you're a righty or a lefty, this is going to work out just fine for you because it's got a nice big handle here for you to hold on to. Leave it to Iron Chef Geoffrey Zakarian to come up with a way to bring a razor sharp edge to every knife in our kitchen. Chef, it's good to have you back. And boy, this comes back at a really perfect time of year when we're rediscovering our kitchens.
Yes, David, and we're rediscovering our kitchens, and we do not want to be in the danger zone, which means in the emergency room, because safety with knives is blunt equals danger. So we don't want blunt or dull knives, and very important. This is a chef-level precision. And this is what I use in my home, and I can use this in the kitchens if I want. But this, if you ever struggle with this thing, this is called a steel. Now, you'll see all the chefs on TV do this all the time. What that really is, it's not showing off, but we're just putting a little hone. We're not actually sharpening. This device actually sharpens and hones. It does 2 things. So a knife is dull for 2 reasons. The edge has been worn down, and the blade's edge is no longer aligned properly. So, with 4 or 5 swipes on the coarse side, and then 4 or 5 swipes on the fine side, we're done. And guess what? If you're left-handed, I am not, and I could even fake it this way, right? Just like that, you're done. Then you go to your mushroom or whatever you have, and you're just gonna fly through that. If you get cut with a knife that's dull, it's much worse than if it's sharp. But you wanna maintain your knives, this is how you maintain them. And you said that you hit it right on the head. You know, that's where everybody throws their knives in the drawer. I'm guilty of that myself, but you really shouldn't throw it in the drawer. You should actually sort of try to keep it in one drawer away from each other so it doesn't get broken or cut, or the edges don't come down. Now, we're gonna take any kind of knife here. We have a butcher knife here. We're gonna do the same thing. Coarse, 3 or 4 times. Fine, 3 or 4 times. And then we have a beautiful edge. And David, it is so simple. And when I show this to people, they're like, kind of like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, that's it. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to be a chef, and you don't have to use this thing, which is called a steel. Now, it is what we use, but this is what we use to sort of get one part down. We just hone. This is just for a quick. Now, this is a hunting knife, so it works on hunting knives. And same thing, 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 times, and you have that knife sharp as a devil. So it's just a great device, and it fits in your drawer, which is one of the holy sanctimony reasons that I do things. It's got to fit in the drawer. It's got to be a foundation item. It has to work. And so this fills all the bills, and it's really great. It smooths the blade. It eliminates dings and rough spots. And remember what I said before, safety. A dull knife is dangerous.
Yeah, a sharp knife is less likely to cut you. Why? Because you're not working as hard. You push harder and you work harder with a dull knife. That's why you can go and get all those old knives now that you thought were not ever going to be used again, and you can breathe new life into them. You just need the right tool to help you do that. Now, we're very busy on our phone lines. 1,100 of these are gone, and I have 1,000 customers on the phone lines. We have 4 color choices for you. Bear in mind, these sold out when we had them on the air back in April. So it has taken us April, May, June, July, August, and now going into September to get them back on the air. So, in fairness, about 5 months to get these back. What's happening 5 months from now? Will it be January?
It will be.
Yeah. If you need these for Christmas gifts, now might be a good time to be on the line. If you need the cranberry, I have fewer than 500. Here's the Zakarian blue, 600. Here's black, 2,700, and finally the cool gray. 1,300 of these remaining. I have 1,000 customers on the phone lines. There are a lot of you out there right now who say, you know what, I've at least got 3 or 4 knives, if not more, that have gotten dull, and I couldn't bear to part with them, Chef, because I paid too much money for them. But I'm not going to get them together and go to the knife store and have them professionally sharpened, because you know what, I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to take the time to go out and do that. I'm not going to spend the money to do that. So what happens to those knives? They just keep piling up in those drawers, not being used, not because they're broken, but because they need a new edge. And Chef, you've given us a tool that makes giving that new edge to an old knife so incredibly easy.
Well, it's something that I got to tell you, this is so easy, and I love that drawer you set up was excellent. Thank you, because it's so simple. It fits in the drawer and ambidextrous, so if you're left-handed or right-handed, it is so easy to use. This is going to save you a lot of time and hopefully a lot of cuts in the kitchen, because a rough knife, a dull knife, is very dangerous. And remember, this does both honing and sharpening, and that is what you can't do with this thing. Everybody struggles with this. It looks fun, right? And when you're a chef, you know how to use this, but it only lasts a few minutes. This lasts a good amount of time. And when you take your knife out of the drawer, and you run it through this a couple of minutes, you have this gorgeous knife, and you feel really confident that you're not going to cut yourself. Your cuts are clean, and it's precision. And we are all about precision here at QVC, David.
Well, and it's all about a sharp knife doing the job so that you don't have to work harder. Let the knife do the work, and a sharp blade will glide effortlessly through whatever you're cutting. Now, I need to let you know now we've taken orders for 2,400. I have over 1,000 customers on the phone lines, and you got 4 color choices to choose from, and these sold out back in April. So that was about 5 months ago. 5 months from now, we're going to be into 2022. If you want to get this now before the year's end and you got a lot of cooking to do, now's the time. Here are the colors. Now, I've got it for you in the cranberry. How many? 200. Fewer than 200 in that cranberry. We can safely say last call on the cranberry. Here's Zakarian blue. 350. All I have left to go around. Here's black. 2,400 left, and in the gray, only 1,000. And Chef, I'll tell you also, I get so many requests from our foodies on social media. David, when are the knife sharpeners coming back to QVC? It's here today, and blessed by an iron chef, our good friend GZ, Geoffrey Zakarian. Don't miss out on yours. Over 1,000 people are on the phone line, so now is the time to utilize QVC.com in your mobile app, and we'll get you all squared away with an easy way to sharpen those knives. GZ, it's good to have you back, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to a very robust fall season with you.
Can't wait, my friend. Keep it flavorful. We'll see you soon, pal.
Thank you.
All righty, bye-bye. Let's check in with Julia now, because before